Why did you ask for the fan to be ejected?
Because he was cursing me the whole first half too.
Why didn't you ask for him to be ejected in the first half then?
Because I never would eject a fan. They pay for tickets, but I had enough, It's a little bit of frustration.
Luka Dončić on Wednesday night. Suns beat the Mavericks. They broke Luka Dončić, apparently. He lost his patience with a fan who he requested to have ejected from American Airlines Center in Dallas. And after great lengths, we have tracked down said fan. His name is Kenneth Roe, and he joins us right now here on Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Kenneth, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me the platform, and I've been digesting the last 36 hours. I definitely haven't been bored at all.
No,
since
so
that incident.
Still, all these hours later, Kenneth, we've heard Luka's story, and his story has changed. And he went on TNT last night, and he kind of said, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I want to hear your side of the story. You were riding him pretty good, according to the reports. You don't refute that, do you?
I mean, no. I mean, it's it was most of the time it was this kind of just innocuous, like run-of-the-mill trash talk. Just and nothing that. It's just like an average NBA game. I'm sure any professional athlete, it's, getting heckled by fans. It's kind of comes with the territory. And, yeah, I mean, obviously there's some history there with the Mavs and the Suns, and especially Luka Dončić. So, yeah, I mean, he probably deserves a little, I guess, with the context, he gets a little special treatment, I guess, from the fans. Yeah. But, yeah, it wasn't really anything out of the ordinary. I mean, we all saw the quote that went viral, and that was kind of in terms of, just jabs I took at him. That was probably the worst one.
That one, to refresh people's memory, that was the "you're tired, get your ass on the treadmill." Is that accurate, Kenneth?
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty
good.
That's what I said.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Kenneth. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Now, let me be very clear on this, though. When Luka says he had been cursing at me all half, is that accurate?
No. I mean, in terms of, was I going like,
yeah.
Like F you, whatever
yes.
that,
yeah,
it wasn't anything like that.
Right. Were you in any way out of line in your heckling, in your opinion?
I mean, no. I mean, again, that quote that went viral, that was really the one thing I really said directed at Luka the whole game, to be honest.
Okay, so that line about the treadmill obviously
it struck a nerve.
Obviously that hit close to home. And then he gestures, and then what happened? Because we see Luka gesture, and then we do see some cell phone video of you just kind of walking up the stands. Fill in the gaps of exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Once Luka kind of gestured over to you.
Sure. So again, I said what I said, and it was around it was 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and then. I was just watching the game. They called I don't know if it's a TV timeout or if the Mavs called a timeout very soon after. But, during the break, I was just on my phone, and I look up, and there's kind of this buzz around the section, people are there's something going on. And I'm like, what's going on? I don't think anyone really had any idea what was going on. But I look up from my phone, and I mean, Luke is staring at me, point. I don't know who he's with. He might have been with security or someone with the team or whatever. I don't know. I was just kind of a deer in the headlights. But I look up and Luke he's staring at me and I'm staring at him, pointing at me as in, yeah, that's the guy. And then, in those seats, there's an usher right there, right next to me. And she was like, hey, kind of essentially giving me a warning, let's tone it down, keep it down, please. And, gave me a warning. And I was like, okay, I mean, sure, I don't want to get kicked out of the game. It's been a great game. The Suns are up by 20-something points. We're beating the Mavs on their home court. I'm loving it. And then right when the third quarter ends, I think it was Josh Green or something hit that buzzer beater 3 to end that third quarter. Right when the buzzer hit, my seat was I was right by, I want to say it was a player tunnel. I'm not 100% sure. It was something, but there's an usher also in that area right next to me, And this was a different person. And he said, hey, you're going to have to leave, sir. You're going to have to leave your seat. You have to go up on the concourse. We can't have you sitting here for the rest of the game. And so, I mean, I was just a little confused because I went from this lady, an usher, giving me just, a warning, like, hey, keep it down. We don't need that, whatever.
So
and
Kenneth,
I complied. I'm like, hey, I don't want to get kicked out.
So you said, after you got the warning, you said nothing else? And it went from the warning, you say nothing, and then you ultimately got kicked out?
Yes, yeah. I mean, again, I was compliant, like, hey, I don't want to get kicked out, like, just give me a warning. I don't want to be a hooligan, or someone that's just running his mouth. And then, I walk up to the concourse, and there's a couple gentlemen there waiting for me, and they were, I had a beer in my hand. They're like, they told me to throw away the beer. They said, your night's over. You're done. And they escorted me out of the arena.
Wow.
And then I'm outside of the arena, like standing on, so, you go out of American Airlines, you go out the door, and then there's just a public street, people walk in. So I was just standing out there because I had three of my friends still at their seats, still going like, what in the world is going on? Our friend is not here anymore. And I was just calling them, trying to let them know, hey, like, when do you guys want to get out of here? Because, I can't get in. I'm out of there. And then another, I assume someone for a gentleman, I assume working for the venue, American Airlines Center, he pokes his head out of the door to me outside, and he says, sir, you're going to have to exit the property.
Wow. Jeez.
Like, and a guy, he poked his head out I'm just sitting on the street and, just calling my friends, and, he's like, sir, you're going to have to exit the premises. And I'm like,
just leaving the arena. The arena wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
You had to leave the.
We're going to need you to leave the county
city.
lines. Yeah. We're talking
I guess because, I was on, like, it's a public street. I ended up just, it kind of worked out because there was a restaurant. I just walked across the street, and, there's a restaurant that was playing the rest of the game. So I watched it from a window, watched the rest of the game until my friends eventually left.
Wow.
But, it's kind of weird because it went from the lady giving me the warning during the timeout. I'm like, okay. And then, there's only like a minute and a half left in the third quarter. That time elapses. And then right when the third quarter ends, I get asked to leave my seat. And then it turns into, being on the concourse and then having people telling me, sir, you have to leave the arena.
Crazy.
And then it turns into, sir, we can't even have you near the arena. You please exit the premises. So it was like a whole, it just turned into, it kind of just was a snowball effect. It just kind of turned into a bigger and bigger ordeal.
Kenneth Roe.
That's me. That's what happened with me.
Yeah, Kenneth Roe, Suns fan who was kicked out of the game at the behest of Luka Dončić, is our guest here on Arizona Sports. I got to ask you this to follow up to it. It came up after the game in the Suns media availability. Devin Booker was asked about it, and Devin Booker, in his past, has gone out of his way to do something nice for Suns fans who represent on the road. He said, I hope he didn't cross too many lines, but if you got his information, I'd love to have it. It sounds like you didn't cross too many lines, Kenneth. Has there been any contact from the Suns or from Devin Booker individually?
You know what? I got a DM from the Suns last night, and let's just say you might see my mug at a game here pretty soon before the All-Star break. And D-Book, if he's listening or if he hears this, that's my guy. Been a fan through those. He was a rookie during those dark ages, when we were just, consistent lottery team, and just seeing him to go from, he wasn't a top 5 pick. He was I think he was like 13th.
Yeah,
he was the guy that didn't even start on his own college team. And now, seeing him turn into a legit superstar, that's why, you root for teams, and you also root for players, for guys like him. So
Kenneth,
I haven't gotten contact from D-Book, but, all love to him.
Yeah.
Real quick, Kenneth, did you see Luka on TNT last night, and do you accept his quote-unquote apology? Do you accept his apology?
I don't want to, I'm not going to start some beef with Luka. I get it. He was we've all played sports, and I'm sure he said a lot of it was frustration. I'm sure it was. Losing sucks, and I know he's a professional athlete. He hates to lose, especially in the fashion in which he was that night. And at that moment, I may have poked the bear there, and I'm sure it was just some frustration. So I get it. I think I got my money's worth during the game from the portion of the game that I saw. So I'm not going to ask for a refund or anything petty like that. So
well, Kenneth,
I accept his apology, and I get it, Luka. You're off the hook.
Kenneth,
You're the bigger man.
If you end up somewhat courtside at Footprint Center, we need you to start working on your insults for either Jokic or James Harden.
Anyone on the Lakers?
Anybody on the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean.
No, well, hey, home court advantage. Whatever I can do. If I can be a tangible asset that helps us win, then hey.
Hey, listen, the treadmill comment's going to be tough to top, but you got some time to work on your stuff.
Kenneth, keep us updated too via social media on what game you're going to be at Footprint Center. We'd love to meet you, and thanks for sharing your story. And you won't elevate the beef, but we will. Luka is soft, and as Lil Wayne says, Luka a hoe. Kenneth, thanks for representing in Big D. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right,
thanks, man.
It's Kenneth Roe, kicked out of the. Wow, that guy, it escalated 3 different times. Leave the property.
Also, gave them a warning and then changed their mind 15 minutes later and said, no, you got to go.
Yeah.
So who changed their mind? Arena security?
Yeah.
Luka?
I want to see
Butthurt Mavs people?
I want to see what Book does next.
Cuban?
Not even the owner anymore.
Yeah, not even. He still has those
Mark
courtside
Aguirre?
seats. Brad Davis.
Roy Tarpley?
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.